What's good, everybody? RJ Sean here, back with another episode of BD Boys. As you see on the screen here, I got my good brother, James Muenchow, a.k.a. Jimmer, a.k.a. Jim Bob Cooter. Man, oh man, brother. Man, oh man. I don't even want to ask you kind of how we're feeling, but I feel like I have to be consistent because we are consistent on this show. How are we feeling, man?
Um, we took a day, took some time to digest, figured it out, and let the feelings out, let the immediate feelings out. Now we're gonna dive into letting cooler heads prevail and really get into how we're feeling about this.
No, absolutely. You already know what we do on here, so we're just going to go and get right to it. Our Green Bay Packers obviously took the L there in the first wild card game, losing to the Chicago Bears. I believe. I don't even want to know the score. Doesn't even matter, really. Um, season over. There's things that definitely we're going to go ahead and go over here throughout this episode. But again, you hate to see it, but it was just another case of the same thing that's been going on during the regular season that turned into the wild card game where we just couldn't finish. We couldn't do things that we needed to do to go ahead and even remotely think as a fan that's been watching. And obviously we've been watching quite a Packer games for some time now, to where you're sitting there and saying, all right, here we go again. And sure enough, it happened. But a lot of things we're going to talk about. You go ahead and obviously give your spiel. Like I've always said, the floor is yours on here, and it always will be. This is a tough one to swallow.
No, absolutely. Went from a lead at halftime where you played the perfect half, and Chicago played probably the worst case scenario half. Let's just be honest. Call spade a spade. And you thought, okay, usually in that situation, you're going, all you need to do is play clean second half, play a smart second half, and you basically got it. Well, you came out in the second half. We're not even going to talk about the first half. First half, well, we can. First half was perfect. Ben Johnson was aggressive like he usually is, going for it on fourth down, sometimes recklessly doing it, getting himself in trouble. And it didn't work out. Green Bay's defense played really well, bending but not breaking, getting some turnovers. One was basically a punt. The other one was huge, took points off the board. And, Matt LaFleur was calling a perfect game, in my opinion, just doing what his offense does best. You had the play action, you had the jet sweeps. Josh Jacobs looked healthy as hell. Um, Jordan Love looked like Jordan Love. Christian Watson was playing fantastic. Romeo Dobbs looked like himself. It looked like, okay, Green Bay took a week off. They look healthy. They look spry. They look sharp. Um, Now the second half, basically go and do it again. Just do exactly what you did in the first half. Chicago came out, and said, and obviously needs stops quickly to get back into the football game. So what did they do? They played pressure. They played man. Basically took the run game away because it's pretty obvious that Matt LaFleur wanted to run the football because, yes, you would like time to be on your side and how you do that, run the football. Well, Chicago basically took away half your playbook because they were taking away the run,
Right.
over half your playbook. They were taking away your run, and they were also, by playing pressure and playing man, they were taking away your play action, which was what made you successful. So what do? Well, it's something that you don't really want to do, but it's necessary. You throw the ball. Get your man. I know Matt LaFleur on that play sheet has a section at, okay, they're bringing pressure, they're bringing uh, they're pressing, they're playing pressure, or they're bringing pressure. Here's our man beaters. Here's our man-to-man concepts that we can run to Christian, we can run to Jane Reed, get the ball out quick. Here's those concepts. And he totally ignored it. Still tried to run the ball on first down. Still tried to run play action, which I didn't mind the play action, but man, they were bringing so much pressure that you can't do those fakes and then turn around on bootleg and there's a guy in your face. They were just going all out. We need to get stops. We need to get them uncomfortable. And Matt LaFleur had zero answer. After the first drive, the first 3-and-out, I was like, okay, there's their plan. You saw their plan. Adjust.
Right.
Okay, first down, they're going to bring pressure again. They're going to stack the box, run something, run a quick slant over the middle, run a go route, run anything. And he just did not do it for 4 straight drives. 4 3-and-outs. Offense was on the field probably for all of 3 minutes for those 4 drives. And that put your defense in a really bad spot because they started to get gassed. They started to get gashed. Basically no help on that side of the ball. So what happened? That's what happened.
Right.
Your 25-point fourth quarter, because your defense was on the field basically the entire third quarter. Offense couldn't get anything together, which lies on Matt LaFleur. He didn't adjust, and then next thing you know, you're down, which I was like, maybe being down is a good thing, because apparently Green Bay plays better being down than they do playing with a lead. And they go down on the field and score. I'm like, because Chicago couldn't play what they were doing again. They had to play a normal defense. So they sat back, and guess what? Green Bay gashed them. And then once again, Chicago went down the field. Defense is tired because being on the field the entire third quarter. You don't have any playmakers on the field with Edgerrin Cooper going down, which was very upsetting. And then Chicago goes down the score, make it 31-27, which was end up being the final score. Once again, kicking woes come back and bite you. 7 points were off the board, but the biggest one, obviously, was the extra point. And it turned out to be pretty important, that missed extra point once again, because Green Bay was there. You set up for a field goal going to overtime. Guess what? You missed the extra point, little things, and now you have to go score a touchdown. And yet they were still almost there. They were almost there. Jordan Love played a fantastic game. It just reminded you more of what Aaron Rodgers went through post Super Bowl, where he plays godlike. It's stuff it's something we've seen before. It's not like he's doing anything that Aaron Rodgers was doing. It's just he's just playing a great game. Aaron Rodgers throwing 4 or 5 touchdowns a game and losing, throwing for 300 something yards and losing. It brought back bad memories. So you lose the game in a fashion where you're talking about Matt LaFleur extension. And basically, if he coaches, obviously, anything but the worst case scenario, he's probably going to get that extension. Well, the worst case scenario just happened. So now, after the game, of course, I haven't been a fan of Matt LaFleur for this reason right here. Because this has happened so many times in the past 3 years, not only just the past 3 years, but his whole coaching career. Unable to coach with leads, unable to manage games correctly, and also just unable to, coach a complete game. So we'll get into the questions here. What do the Packers do moving forward? Now, yes, I want Matt LaFleur gone, but then you think about it. You really do. Do you go into the unknown, different offensive coordinator, different coach? Because if Matt LaFleur goes, I guarantee a lot of that staff is gone.
Oh, they're
except
all
for
gone.
Jeff Hafley.
Yeah, they're all
except
gone.
for Jeff Hafley.
Yeah.
Jeff Hafley is the only guy you probably keep. Maybe you keep some of the defensive side. But a new coach is going to want his own regime, so maybe Jeff Hafley does. But now there's talk about Jeff Hafley getting head coaching interviews or being requested for some head coaching interviews. He might be gone regardless because, the guy's got to look out for his family, got to do what's good for his career. So he might be gone regardless. But Jeff Hafley is the safest person in the Green Bay coaching staff right now. So do you run with the unknown, and who do you bring in? Obviously, now there's a bunch of big names on the market. Mike Tomlin, which I wouldn't be a fan of, by the way. I like Mike Tomlin as a leader, but you just see what he's been doing with the Steelers the past 10 years, and it does not impress me. I mean, yes, it's basically the same thing as Matt LaFleur right now.
Right.
You're going to get over 500, you're going to squeak into the playoffs, and that's about it. So, wouldn't be a fan of Mike Tomlin, but I know how maybe a change of scenery, stuff like that. Good leader of men, guys would play his heart out for him. And then there's John Harbaugh. Adam Schefter, if you watch the pregame on Sunday, you know Adam Schefter made the connection that Bob Harlan, I think it was Bob Harlan or Bob Harlan's kid, former Packers president, represents John Harbaugh. John Harbaugh lives in the Upper Peninsula. There's a connection there. But other than that, there's really nothing. There's really nobody out there that is jumping off the page. So I sat and thought, and then you watch film. You watch the snippets on Twitter. You watch guys that do a really good job diving into all 22s. In the second half, Matt LaFleur talked about they didn't execute. And I hate hearing that because that's just cop-out all the time. He doesn't take accountability for, I didn't make adjustments. This loss is on me. He just said, oh, we got to execute better. And it's like, all right, we got to dive into it. We got to watch film. His top 3 cliches used every time he loses. But then you do dive into the film. You really do. Rasheed Walker, offensively, left tackle, there were 3 plays that were highlighted in the second half where if he holds a block, sustains it, for 2 seconds, second and a half, Jordan Love has wide open big plays and touchdowns. But because of Rasheed Walker, literally because of Rasheed Walker, Jordan had to scramble, Jordan had to reset the pocket, and then the play was gone. So yeah, didn't execute that play. So you really do look at it and go, okay, maybe he's got a point. So do you still roll with Matt LaFleur? You know what you're getting offensively, but you go, Matt, you need to change something. And you're coming up on a contract year. I mean, maybe they say extensions. Let's hold off on extension. I want to see if you can change this whole narrative that you can't coach with a lead. I want to see it. Because we've heard Kurt Benkert, a former Packer player who was in those meeting rooms, quarterback rooms, say that Matt LaFleur is arrogant and stubborn when it comes to how he runs his offense, and not in a good way. Like, that's what we saw in the second half is what Matt LaFleur wants to do with the lead. Just run the ball, be conservative, try to chew clock. Where other coaches in that scenario, it's the fucking playoffs. You watch Mike McCarthy, one of the most conservative coaches that we've seen, loved running the football, trying to run the clock with big leads. In Atlanta, 2010, or it was technically 2011 at that point, in the 2010 season,
right,
on the road, as an underdog, against the number 1 seed Atlanta Falcons, come out and throw on first down while they were up 14. Throw on first down. Still just throwing the football. Now, again, I understand Green Bay's running attack wasn't as good as, because Aaron Rodgers was just playing godlike. But also it wasn't as good. Their running game was something that was a change-up to everybody. So you'd get 6 yards of rush, but you only rush 10 yards a game. But that's what kept defenses honest, is because you start running the ball. But still, it's the fucking playoffs. That's a good team. I mean, Chicago's a good team over there that, they don't get the 2 seed by luck.
Right.
They got it for a reason. They come back a lot. Their record shows it. I don't understand the philosophy. And the thing is we've seen him do it before, in the sense of we've seen you put the foot on the gas with a lead. You did it in Detroit, Thanksgiving, with a coach who does the exact same things as Ben Johnson does. Go for it on fourth down all the time. Aggressive, sometimes reckless. Anything to put points on the board to maximize your possessions. That's going to happen in the second half. You need to do everything in your power to keep offense on the field, to keep their offense off the field, because time's your friend. You need to get first downs. Running the ball was not the recipe for first downs. They rushed the ball. I can't even remember how many times they rushed the ball in the second half. Their longest rush was six yards. Everything else was 0, 1, 2 negative yards. Just piss poor. And Chicago was giving you opportunities.
Way too many.
So they literally were like handing you an opportunities to go at least go get 3.
Right.
Where it's like, oh well, son of a bitch, any points in that scenario, up 18, up 15, up 11, any points in that are huge because you sustained a drive, took some time off the clock, you got points. It doesn't matter, and you didn't do any of it. So that's a big fucking problem. So that's the coaching part of it. But I sit here today looking at what's available coach wise. I just don't see anybody that besides a Harbaugh or a Tomlin, which I'm not high on Tomlin. John Harbaugh, I've been saying for years, has been holding back the Ravens. You have the MVP in Lamar Jackson. You have all these weapons on offense. Maybe defensively, yes, you were a little Swiss cheese like. It wasn't the greatest. But there's been years where kind of the same thing. You look at, I think it was last year against the Chiefs. You have Derrick Henry. The Chiefs defense wasn't very good at stopping the run. What did you do? You ran the ball 6 times and a half. It's kind of the same fucking thing.
No,
Except so what do? Do you stick with the evil that let's just call it an evil.
Right.
You stick with what you have, knowing that it's gonna look like this. And hopefully some tweaks are made. Maybe yes. Maybe Matt LaFleur needs to look into bringing in, and we've talked about this. I don't think he'll be available. Maybe he will. I don't know. Mike McDaniel, same coaching tree, same offense, who maybe Matt LaFleur just needs to hand over to someone like that. I don't want him handing it over to offensive coordinator like Adam Stenavich.
Right.
And people are saying, well, isn't there an offensive coordinator? Yes, there's an offensive coordinator in the building. But this is an offensive coordinator that is a yes man to Matt LaFleur.
Absolutely.
He's an assistant. Obviously that's his title as assistant because he's an offensive coordinator. He's not head coach. He brings in guys to yes man him. All right, quality control. Make sure that we're doing this. If I have to go look at the defense, he's not worried about calling plays.
Right.
I understand of it. It's none of that. So yes, there's an offensive coordinator in the building. Maybe he needs to bring in convince a guy like Mike McDaniels. Mike, you just got done being a head coach. I don't think Mike McDaniel will be available as assistant. I think he will probably get picked up somewhere because he is a good offensive mind. He does run a good offense. Having Tua Tagovailoa as your quarterback hindered his offense drastically. So, but maybe teams go elsewhere. So maybe you do bring Mike McDaniel in as offensive coordinator, which would be a good thing because they run the same offense.
Right.
I like what Mike McDaniels does on offense. I really do. And when you hand him over a quarterback like Jordan Love, Jesus, hello.
Yeah.
Maybe Matt LaFleur needs to say, okay, Mike, I'm bringing you in. We're going to work together on this, but I need to take a step back from play calling because Matt LaFleur's game management skills are horrendous.
They are very bad.
You use a timeout, and the nail in the coffin for me was you use a timeout, you come out of the timeout, and you get a delay of game. And we've seen for years, Matt's really slow at breaking the huddle. And then, they used to, I remember with Aaron Rodgers, they were really slow breaking the huddle. They break the huddle at 10. That's not enough time to look at what you got, make some adjustments if you need to. And then they switch to a risk coach that has the plays on it, and you're still slow. It's like you literally are calling out numbers. All right, play 42 and then check out of that to play 52. All right, And then that I don't understand. And then you're giving him instructions until it hits 15. It it needs to be better than that. So and then you call in timeouts because you had 10 men on defense, just total disorganization. And maybe if Matt LaFleur, and we saw it with Mike McCarthy in Dallas, he became a little bit better of a game manager sometimes, and
Yeah.
more times than not, because he gave up play calling. And he said that. He said it's kind of weird not calling plays. I just sit back and just manage the game. His offense coordinator at the time was Kellen Moore. He's just Kellen Moore's calling plays. He's like, I just have to sit and watch. He goes, maybe yeah, I'm on the headset and maybe giving us some ideas or giving what I want to do. But other than that, I just sit back and manage the game. So maybe Matt LaFleur needs to try to convince the Packers front office to maybe break the bank and give Mike McDaniel a little more money that like they did with Rich Bisaccia, and I'll get to him in a second. Um, to come in, he's going to call plays. He knows that me and him are on the exact same page. Um, I will let him have total control of play calling. I just want to focus on game managing, and maybe that will get us more efficiency on on the field. Blah blah blah. I think that might need to happen if Mike McDaniel is available. Cause I mean, then don't plan on him being there for very long though. I
Right.
just because he's going to run the offense and he's going to call plays. I think it's going to look the same, if not a little better. And somebody's going to be like, all right, Mike, you took some years off. And Mike maybe learns some things from Matt LaFleur being a head coach, because Robert Saleh probably did the same thing when he came to Green Bay and consulted. You pick up things when you're learning on the fly as a head
Right.
coach. Now you get to take a step back, which they have. I mean, they've all been assistants at one point, but now you get to say, okay, this is what I do differently in this scenario if we were preparing, but all those things. He doesn't have to take on the stress of being a head coach, Mike McDaniel. He could just, all right, I just got to prepare my offense. I got to call plays. That's all I got to worry about. So you're taking more off the plate of Matt LaFleur, while also Mike McDaniel is doing a job where he doesn't have to worry about what the defense is doing. He just gets to worry about the offense. So that's what I kind of hope to do. But again, I don't know if that's going to happen. That would be a suggestion. But I mean, look into the next season, Matt LaFleur probably being head coach, and then probably still calling plays.
Right.
Which again, is that a bad thing? 50% of the time, no. 50% of the time, yes. It's really a catch-22. You don't know what Matt LaFleur you're going to get on what day. So, or what half even. So, I think Matt LaFleur will still be the head coach of the Green Bay Packers because really, I don't know if you want to start over and have Jordan Love try to learn a new offense. Um, with all these young guys, they've been in this offense since day one. And so I think you just keep it as is, and then you got to try to improve being with leads. It sounds simple, but yet for the past 3 years, it's hard. You're like
Right.
you're losing games that you shouldn't lose. You're losing leads because you're just so conservative or you're so disorganized. Penalties. We saw it all in one fucking half, in one quarter, even of
1 quarter.
why things go awry for the Green Bay Packers. So
Right.
now let's get to the special teams. Special teams was fucking terrible. And I'm not
Right.
just saying that because the kicker missed so much. Punt return coverage was horrible. And usually that was their biggest strength, Green Bay's. Their punt coverage was really good throughout the season. Daniel Whelan was an absolute weapon to flip fields, but punt coverage this past week was terrible. I mean, and it set up Chicago on some really short fields. So that's problem number one. Problem number two, your kickoff return. It just didn't look good. You had to put Josh Jacobs back there and he fumbled. Thankfully, it didn't come to anything. You put Keyshawn Nixon back there. You said, Keyshawn, you better fucking nut up because this is the playoffs. You're going to start returning kicks. And for some reason, you put Josh Jacobs in there. Again, it looks all right. But when you're scrambling like that doesn't put me in big confidence. Kickoff return was fine, or kickoff team defense was fine. But again, uh, the execution of field goals from top to bottom. I mean, the only person that had a good game, I guess, was Daniel Whelan holding the ball. Your long snapper had a bad snap on the kick before half, which probably ruined the timing of Brandon McManus. And then Brandon McManus, I think he's just got the yips now. I mean, that looks like a kicker that just had no clue what was going on, totally lost confidence in himself. And this is a guy who's kicked in big games, Super Bowls,
Right.
and you just don't, you didn't really see that from him. And now you might have to think about moving on from him because you saw this happen with Blair Walsh in Minnesota. He missed
Right.
one 24-yard field goal. I think it was multiple, but he missed field goals and then he just was not the same. And it took him a couple years to recover before landing in Seattle, having a decent year. I mean, but maybe you roll the dice again. I mean, we saw Mason Crosby how many times have games like this, and then he bounces back, and he has really good years. So that's a question mark. And I understand Rich Bisaccia is highly respected by the players. Like Rich Bisaccia is basically your sideline general. Like he controls the sidelines because if Matt's dealing with the game, anything that's going on the sideline, that's Rich Bisaccia. And to be totally honest, I don't see the point of keeping him anymore because your special teams did not get better from that hire. And it's unfortunate because he's a great special teams coach. He's the best in the business. I think Green Bay's just plagued by having terrible special teams. It's just like in your DNA. You brought in the best in the business, gave him $2 million a year to coach special teams.
Just crazy.
Now, did it improve from where you were? Yes, but you're still like mid-table and sometimes bottom of the barrel in some categories. Again, like punt return is a fucking dumpster fire. It just has been. You got Romeo Dobbs back there fucking returning kicks. You put Jaden Reed back there sometimes. You're one of your best wide receivers to get cracked sometimes. You can't find a guy to return punts. You brought in Savion Williams, who got hurt, but you didn't even use him on punt return. You just use him at kickoff return. It's a problem. Like there's no solutions in sight. So I don't see the point of having him around anymore just to be a guy that guys respect. I mean, respect goes a long way, but still, I just don't see the point. So I think maybe you start there. Yeah, let the head roll of Rich Bisaccia and maybe bring in another guy and see how it goes. Also, talking about respect, the other reason why Matt LaFleur ain't going anywhere, when you get endorsements from the quarterback and Uno, Micah Parsons, that motherfucker ain't going anywhere. No. So as soon as Micah Parsons came out and gave an endorsement for Matt LaFleur, he's staying, ladies and gentlemen.
He's going.
We can stop that because the front office is going to be like, we need to keep 1 happy and 10 happy, and they want Matt LaFleur. They're going to get Matt LaFleur. So I forgot that point. I wanted to bring that up. So now we get into the fun part.
Before we get into that, I just want to give yourself a little break here because that was a great in depth of talking about what's going on. I want to just reiterate because I think this definitely needs to be repeated and it needs to be said. Where you went ahead and talked about that there's no one that challenges Matt LaFleur from a coaching standpoint, and that is absolutely hit right square on the head. I feel that everyone that is on that offensive side and everyone on that defensive side, I don't think that they have the balls to go ahead and tell Matt LaFleur to go ahead what to do, especially on the offensive side. And you cannot have that as an NFL football team. You cannot have a quarterbacks coach, a wide receiver coach, and running backs coach, or like you've mentioned, whoever's control, management, whatever. If you're a yes man and you don't do your job, this is what shit happens. This is the type of things to where you can be 12-3 hosting a game at home instead of being a fucking wild card team and not doing your damn job. That's clearly what this is. Exactly.
Yep.
This is what it is. This clearly is what our team is. There's a bunch of yes men in there. I had to go ahead and reiterate that because that is a very key point.
I mean, the reason the offense was so successful still with Aaron Rodgers, because Rodgers and Kurt Benkert came out and said this. Rodgers would challenge LaFleur.
Yes.
He totally had a different ideology than LaFleur, which made for some really good plays. Now, don't get me wrong. When you had the 12-17 combo, I mean,
That was different.
Rogers could get a play and be like, "Yeah, that's fucking stupid. We're not doing that." Well, he'll call it. He'll probably be like, "Okay, we're gonna do this," and then be like, "Oh, I see something. Check, can. Okay, just run something. I got you." Like, and Matt would probably be like, "Cool, that's fine." Like, yeah, throw that fade, Devontae, or throw the slot. Do do something. I don't care because it worked.
Right.
You don't have that. You don't have Jordan Love. Unfortunately, doesn't have the demeanor to do that. He listens to his head coach, which hey, I'm all for a guy doing what he's instructed to do instead of flying off the cuffs. I mean, when Aaron Rodgers does things, you listen though. Um, it, Jordan, I mean, you saw Jordan defend him on the podium, which again, when you have players defending the head coach, that's a tough move to move on from too. You
Right.
can't just fight. You can't just be like, well, we know you guys like him, but fuck him. I mean, but at the same time, this is a business.
Right. No, absolutely.
You gotta
Absolutely.
tell the players, yo, this is a business. We're trying to win football games here, and we've been 7 seed for the past 3 years with first round exit, with two of them being first round exits, and one of them being a really good display in Dallas, and then another game, shocking, that we should have won in San Francisco to go play Detroit in Detroit for the NFC Championship game, and we didn't do that. Another instance of Matt LaFleur totally pissing down his leg. So, but you got to keep again those two guys, 10 and Uno. They want them. You got to keep them. And
Absolutely.
but you got to put the hammer down on Matt, the front office. Matt, listen, we're keeping you because guys want you, but don't think that you're safe because of it. Like you need to change, and I hope he does. Like see, like okay, I need to change something, and hopefully, the Mike McDaniel thing brings it up. But again, yeah, it's he ain't going anywhere. I thank you for cutting in on that. I just think again, you know what you're getting out of Matt LaFleur. You know it. The offense is going to be successful. You saw a really really good team until Uno went down. You really did. I
Yeah.
mean, even with Devontae Wyatt going down, Tucker Kraft going down, you still saw a really good football team that probably was going to win the NFC North until the unfortunate injury of Micah Parsons, which hearing him being way ahead of the game already in his rehab and him basically saying, I'm going to play week 2 or 3 of next year. And you know what? I'm aiming for week 1. Scary fucking thing. If I'm Caleb Williams, Jared Goff, or whoever the fuck wants to play quarterback in Minnesota, I'd be like, don't like that. That's not good because, as you said, you've been to College State. You've been to College Station or uh, whatever the fuck Penn State's city name. I always mix it up with Texas A&M.
I think it's
Um,
Beaver Stadium or Beaver, whatever the hell they call it.
or the town that
The town
they're
that
in.
they're
Yeah. Um, there's nothing there. You said. You and I have talked about this. There is nothing besides the college town. There's nothing there. It's not like being in uh, it's not like being in Miami. It's not like being in a town with or a college with a big town, Fort Lauderdale, you name it. There's nothing, and that's what Michael Parsons loves is that I just get to be in Green Bay and focus on ball. I don't have to deal with Dallas, being in Dallas, the big city of it. I get to focus on ball. That's a scary thing. And you're
very.
going to get Tucker Kraft. You're going to get Tucker Kraft back probably by week 1. You're going to get Micah Parsons by week 2 or 3 at the worst. It sounds like. I mean, pray to God that no setbacks happen, David Bakhtiari. And hopefully you get Devontae Wyatt back. It sounds like he just had an ankle fracture and he'll be ready to go by camp. You're going to get all the big guns back. I don't know. I didn't hear what Edgerrin Cooper's injury was. I don't know if you've read or heard anything. That might be a setback where you might have to give Quay Walker an extension, which I think Quay Walker definitely deserves an extension, by the way. I mean, he played really well this year. I mean, you saw him play fantastic this year. But I guess if you have to roll with Isaiah McDuffie and Quay Walker as your 1-2, it's not the worst thing in the world. So now we getting into the fun part. Now I get to pick on individuals who just need to leave this fucking team alone
Quay
and
Walker,
never come back.
Quay Walker just had an ankle, so I'm assuming that it's nothing too serious. So,
You mean Edrin Cooper?
yeah, excuse me, Edgerrin Cooper. Yes, sorry.
Yeah. Okay. Well, that's good. That's good
Yeah,
because it
nothing crazy.
didn't look nice. So now we get to pick on some people who I wish to never ever come back to the Green Bay Packers, and starting first and foremost. And y'all might find this to be surprising that he's not he's number one instead of another guy. Keyshawn Nixon, the fuck out of here, bro. Just leave. You are the most insufferable player I have probably ever watched, and the most boneheaded player I've ever watched with the biggest fucking mouth. That you should be a car salesman selling used cars because you're gonna sell a lot of them son bitches. Because you definitely jobbed us because you're just awful, bro. Like you're all talk. You are not QB. You are not quarterback one. You were just cornerback one by default. You're one of three corners in the fucking NFL. Bye bye. And then listen to him talk. Like I think I played pretty well this year. I accomplished a lot of the goals. If those were your goals, getting a lot of personal fouls on the year for doing stupid shit and giving up on plays? Because then you did it. Congratulations to you. Just get the fuck out of here, bro. You made it in the NFL because you were a kick returner and a damn good one. I'll give you that. And then you come out and say, "I'm not returning kicks. I'm quarterback one." Don't like that. Bye.
Exactly.
Go
And then that
go play
that
for
literally
Loss.
hindered
Go.
it literally hindered our team because you are
Yes.
actually a specialist and you can return
And
kicks and punts, but you refuse to do it. So what does that tell
yep,
me? That you're selfish. But continue.
exactly. Yeah, you go play for Las Vegas with that attitude. They love that type shit over there.
We'll see
So,
ya.
and number two, the people who have probably thought I was number one, Rashawn Gary. Sorry, bro. You just I'm done with your big mouth talking. Another guy, not quite as selfish. Like he's quite a team player, but just I'm hungry. Mm-mm. No, no, you're just not it, bro. Sorry, I hate to. You had some really good first couple years in the league. You had an unfortunate knee injury, which looks to be the reason why. I mean, I can't pinpoint anything else on why he's dog shit now. That knee injury had to have hindered something because he is just giving up on plays because he's just slow. And literally, he had one tackle in that playoff game. He had a pressure. I'll give him that. He had one or two pressures.
Man, I'm not giving him shit.
No, enough. Enough is enough. You're getting paid $20 fucking million. If you cut him pre June 11th or June 1st, you save $11.5 million.
Cut him.
Either that, or you're paying him 20. I think I saw 23.5 million next year. No, absolutely not. Save yourself some monies and just please fucking leave. Enough is enough. And then I guess on top of that, Trayvon Diggs is probably going to get cut, not because of how he played. He didn't really play, mainly because his cap hit is quite large. So I can see
Very
Green Bay
large.
say, "Hey, we're not going to pay that, but we would like to cut you, but we're interested in giving you a deal, bringing it back, maybe a 1 year deal, maybe a 2 year deal, prove it deals." I would not mind that at all. I really would.
I think he's going to take that, to be honest.
He has to.
I think he's going to take that.
He is. I don't think he's in any position to get leverage. And by the way, his best friend plays for Green Bay.
And his best friend wants him on that side.
Yeah. So, I think he'll be back, but I think you're going to see him get cut and re-signed because I don't think Green Bay's paying that type of money to him.
No, they're not.
Don't get me wrong. No, I don't. I think they got to be smart about it. It's a business. They want him, but sorry, dude, you're not worth that money. Unless he says, "Hey, just keep me on the payroll. I'll take a pay cut. We'll make it real easy." Sure, fine. We'll figure something out. Or you could renegotiate. I don't know. But you ain't getting paid as much. You'll save $15 million if you cut him pre-June 1, which they absolutely will be cutting him pre-June 1.
Right.
That's really, I mean, all I have Uh, Again, you look at the guys who were hurt. I mean, we mentioned obviously Micah Parsons, obviously Tucker Kraft, uh, Devontae Wyatt. You were also down Elton Jenkins, which shout out to Sean Runyon, who played center in his absence and looked really, really good. You found
Very
something
good.
in Anthony, very good. You found something in Anthony Belton
He's a
at right
fucking
guard.
man.
He is a house. 6'7", 330. No, I mean he was drafted as tackle and he got thrown into guard. He is the perfect body for right guard.
Absolutely.
So you're gonna hopefully. I mean, I don't know if they'll bring Elton Jenkins back with how Sean Runyon played. That's a cheaper option, and Elton Jenkins has got miles on him, man. I mean, I just don't see it. Maybe you bring him back, but then somebody's gonna be sitting. I mean, you're gonna lose. You're probably gonna lose Rasheed Walker because I think he'll get a bigger money deal. Um, I mean, and Jordan Morgan played right tackle for Zach Tom. I mean, that's another guy that you were missing, and you didn't really have any issues. And he had Devontae Sweat on him the
Yeah.
whole game, and he gave up one sack. I mean, he looked like he played a really good right tackle. So hopefully that transitions because he was drafted as a left tackle and his natural position is left tackle. Hopefully that transitions to the other side because then you can. I mean, I think again, it's the same thing as John Runyon Jr., former Packer, who got 3 years, $30 million from the Giants. Green Bay's just not worthy to pay that. Congrats, bro! You getting $10 million a year. Go get it. Like we're
Right.
not going to pay you. I think Rasheed Walker's going to fall into that same realm. Somebody's going to offer him $10, $15 million a year, and Green Bay's like, we're not going to pay that. Go get your money. Like
Right.
congratulations to you. Go take care of your family. Go take care of you the rest of your life. Because they're going to just start Jordan Morgan. So you save a lot of money with Elton Jenkins cutting him. I think all of his guaranteed money's gone, so you can cut him and you just save right off the top of that. I don't know if they will do that though. That'll be a really good question. But him coming off a knee injury again, a lot of miles, and then you watch how Sean Ryan played, and then left guard. I mean, Aaron Banks is still there, who did not play well all year, and that was your big money signing. So hopefully he has a better year too. Um, and then we're gonna get into more guys who probably are just gonna get priced out. Romeo Dobbs. I mean, is he worth paying? Probably. Are you going to pay him? No. You don't
Right.
have the money to do that. He's going to get wide receiver one money because he had 8 receptions for 124 yards on Sunday
He's gonna get
or on
paid.
Saturday. He's going to get paid. He's proven that he is a really good wide receiver. He's going to get paid from somebody. But is it okay? It looks to be because then number 0 going into that spot. And then you're going to have two of the fastest guys in the league playing up top on each side. Who do you do? And then you have Jaden Reed underneath with hopefully a healthy Tucker Kraft. Another guy gone, Luke Musgrave. I mean, he's going to play out his rookie contract, but he just does not cut the mustard to what was on film when you drafted him. He's just not it. Another interesting name, which I don't think is going to happen, Josh Jacobs. I don't think you're going to cut Josh Jacobs, but you can save a lot of money by cutting him, and you seem to have a proven guy, Emmanuel Wilson, behind him, who looked really good in Josh Jacobs' absence. I'm just saying, if you really want to start cutting costs and maybe putting money into your secondary, which I would love for you to do, you got to start looking at places. But I don't believe Josh Jacobs is going to be that person. So, 8's going to be back in the backfield for Green Bay next year, barring absolute shocking development. So that's really where I'm at. And so where does Green Bay go from here? Well, you got the draft. Your main draft priority has to be interior defensive line, followed by uh, corner. You need to rebuild that corner room, and then edge rusher. See if you can maybe steal a guy in the second, third, because you don't have first round pick, and I don't see Green Bay spending their picks because to get back in the first round. I don't see it, but I've been surprised before. Um,
Yeah.
but I that's where your main focus has to be, in my opinion, because you watch Green Bay too many times get. I mean, I was sitting in Lambeau week 17 and watched the Baltimore Ravens just push them around like it was practice. And it's just like, we know what's coming. Like,
Right.
I think they know what's coming, and you still can't stop it. So, interior defensive line needs to be a priority, in my opinion, followed by, I mean, you got Uno, so that'll help the corners. That's why edge rusher was a little lower than corner. But you need corners, man. Like Keyshawn Nixon's going to be gone. Hopefully Nate Hobbs comes back healthy and shows better than what he showed to you this year. I mean, maybe he wasn't playing 100% all year because he did have that ankle injury in camp,
Right.
and it just looked like he didn't get over it. Um, Carrington Valentine's going to be around. He's a cheap option for a guy who still on a rookie deal. It's unfortunate. I don't want him, but you know, he's a guy that can prove that he can at least be a depth corner. Again, terrible tackler. I mean, seventh round pick, and he plays like maybe a fourth round pick. I mean, you got some value out of that, but he's just not. He's not somebody you build around. Um, so corner needs to be a number two priority. Um, maybe even number one, as I said. It depends what what your draft board looks like. Free agency, you could supplement it through that. There is some names out there that could at least veteran presence that aren't going to be. You're not going to be signing Jalen Ramsey, or you're not going to be signing Michael Peters. You're not going to be signing big names like that. But you could get guys who have proven that all you need is outside corners. Like I'm just
Right.
saying this. Jeff Halfley's outside corner play is not hard to learn in the NFL. It's straight cover three, sometimes cover four. Here's your third, here's your fourth. Sometime maybe we'll have you come up one time. You hear cover three, cover four, just don't let anybody over the top. It's not a hard job. Come up, play the run. It's maybe there's times where on film, okay, this formation's different. Other than that, you're on an island, or here's your cover three, cover four, cover two. It's not hard to learn that. So you could bring anybody in, probably pick it up really quick. Um, but you need to rebuild the corner room so I think maybe even corner probably takes a precedent. But if it really just depends on what your board looks like. If you got a good stud interior defensive lineman on the board, and it's coming up on your pick, you got to obviously take the chips where they fall in the draft, because that's basically where Packers are right now. They need to. I think your offensive line always needs supplementing because you got to protect the franchise. But your interior line is not good, and it's you don't have anybody there besides Devontae Wyatt, and you saw what happened when Devontae Wyatt went down. It just wasn't good. So get rid of Rashawn Gary. Maybe again, the good thing is about Brian Gutekunst, and a lot of people were trying to harp on Brian Gutekunst. Yes, has he drafted a lot of good players that are all pro? No. But has he drafted some players that are serviceable and do a damn good job? Sure. He's not going to draft an all pro in the second, third round. I mean, you can't go into that expectation. You hope he plays like the guy you draft in the second, third round plays like a first round guy. Evan Williams, for example, fourth round guy. He plays like he should have went in the first round. And so I think, but you've seen he supplements his poor drafting and not really hitting home runs to uh, going after guys on free agency, which is good, because then you know what you're getting in free agency. So he's gonna mix it up. He's gonna sign some guys, hopefully, to supplement in free agent, and then he's gonna go in the draft, and hopefully he can hit a couple home runs, because that's all you're hoping for. Is because I don't see them again. I don't see them being the team that trades second and third round picks to get back into the late first round. I just don't see them doing it. That's not the type of team they are. They've never really been that type of team. They make their moves in second and third round, yes, but I don't see them doing it. If they do it, I'd shit my pants, honestly. Like
For real.
I would be shocked to do it. So we'll see what comes out of the draft. You got the combine, which is useless. But we'll see what Green Bay can do in the draft. But that's basically where you go. Your priority is basically defense right now, and it's interior defensive line and corner, and maybe even getting another edge rusher to help Uno out. Getting rid of dead weight. Again, Keyshawn, bye-bye. I think hopefully if I see him back in a Green Bay uniform, I will be ramming my head through a wall on this podcast. Rashawn Gary, if he's back, he better be playing for like $7 million. Like he better get pay cut. He better take less money because guess what, bro? He didn't have a tackle behind the line of scrimmage since Halloween. There was a stat. There were 325 players in the league who had tackles behind the line of scrimmage. He was not one of them since Halloween, and he's getting paid $20 million. It's fucking piss poor. You're not even. First of all, you're not doing your main job and get sacks. You're not even getting tackles behind the line of scrimmage.
Probably.
Like I watched Kingsley Inigbare have more fucking tackles for losses than you did. Like that's piss poor, absolutely piss fucking poor. So, and we watched you trot after Caleb Williams. Don't get me wrong, Caleb Williams is an athlete, but we saw you guys scrambles out of the pocket, and you're not there, and you just give up, and you're a captain. No, absolutely not. Bye-bye. I've seen enough. I don't need to see any more. If he's back in a Packer uniform, that's piss poor on front office standpoint because I just don't see it. I really don't. If he's back on a deal where they cut his wages, still not going to be happy about it. But hey, at least you got some wages off the books, I guess. But he does not deserve to be back in a Packer uniform next year either. So other than that, that's where the Green Bay Packers are at. I think they're still really close. I still think they're probably the best team in the NFC North. They just have to play like it, and they don't play like it a lot. They don't play it well with leads. They look clueless at times. But hopefully, I mean, this is the NFL. Injuries are not an excuse.
Right.
You watch the San Francisco 49ers, who have lost impact players like Green Bay has. Nick Bosa, Fred Warner. I'm probably missing a wide receiver. I think a wide receiver got hurt really bad. Kittle. And what did? They walked into Philadelphia and beat. I guess they didn't beat the piss out of them. They gave them a game and they won a fucking playoff game on the road in a very, very hostile environment against the Super Bowl champs. There's no excuse for injuries because you just watch Robert Saleh and Kyle Shanahan put on a masterclass of a football game. And guess what? They're going to go to. I think they're going to Chicago.
Yep, going to Chicago, I believe.
If Chicago,
no, the Rams are. The Rams are. Rams are going to.
Oh yeah, they're going to Seattle.
Yeah,
I'd be afraid of the Los Angeles, Chicago. You were fucked from the. I mean, you were cheering for Philly on that one because Philadelphia comes there. That's an automatic. In my case, automatic dub because Philadelphia just looks horrendous. Yeah, good luck with LA because they gonna. I mean, I don't know what Matthew Stafford's health looks like. I mean, he didn't look very. I mean, they scored 30 something points, and he didn't look very good. You saw what Carolina did to LA by running the football. Chicago's probably going to do the same thing. But anybody but fucking Chicago nowadays. And I thought LA was one of the hotter teams coming into these playoffs. I mean, you obviously saw Sean McVay. It's going to be the same look. It's the same offense that Chicago faced last week. Sean McVay's a smart dude. He's going to be like, okay, Matt was running these concepts. We're going to run these same exact concepts, except I'm going to keep running them. and whatever adjustments they make, Sean McVay's a way better coach than Matt LaFleur. He's going to adjust to it. And you have to worry about Devontae Adams and Puka Nacua.
Bro, the Rams are going to put 50 spot on the Chicago Bears.
I would not.
They're going to
I
beat
would
the dog.
absolutely bet that.
They are going to beat the dog shit out of the Bears.
And by the way, you're going to have actual defensive linemen and edge rushers who can get to the quarterback.
They are going to beat the dog shit out of the Bears.
Chicago, you play like you did against Green Bay, y'all are going to get beat by 50. Because Sean McVay not taking his foot off that gas. And you don't have anybody that can cover. I mean, there's still nobody who can cover Devontae Adams in this league. But then you have to worry about Puka Nacua. Good luck. I'm just going to say that out loud. Good luck. Y'all going to get fucking boat raced. And I'm going to sit back and act like it's my Super Bowl because apparently you guys, Chicago beating Green Bay, that was their Super Bowl. You know, I'm going to sit back. I'm going to win the Super Bowl at anytime Chicago loses now. Y'all act like it's the Super Bowl when Green Bay loses in the playoffs when y'all aren't there. Guess what? I'm gonna pop I might pop some champagne, but put on some fucking snowboard goggles. You know, we might dump. Parents are gonna get pissed, but you know, who gives a shit? Like it's the Super Bowl. We just won it. Let's hang a banner. Now, fuck it. Y'all hang so many banners when Green Bay loses. Like, it's gonna be great. So y'all gonna get dog walked. I'm gonna sit back and enjoy it, laugh at it. Probably cry a little bit because that should have been Green Bay. Y'all should have gotten dog walked by Green Bay, but whatever. Y'all are irrelevant until now. Congratulations. But y'all ain't going anywhere. Y'all gonna get dog walked. And let's just say, yeah, you pull this one out. Good luck going to Seattle. Just
I'm not
good
even
luck.
thinking about that. We don't even
I'm
talk
not even thinking about it.
We don't even talk about that.
So y'all gonna get dog walked by LA, and I'm gonna sit back and I'm gonna enjoy it. So, but this one's gonna sting. I hope it does for the guys in that locker room because they deserve every bit of it. You can't say they don't deserve it because they didn't finish. And I agree with a lot of things that were said by Javon Bullard, by Quay Walker. I agree with every bit of what they said. You know, Chicago didn't win that football game. Green Bay choked it away and gave it to them. You have to play literally 10% better than what you did for the second half, and you win that game. You're moving on to Seattle, which that's not good. That wasn't going to be a good matchup either. But hey, you beat your rival. But the rivalry's back, thank God. I love it. I love a Chicago rival because beating them when they're good just makes it a whole lot better. But Chicago seems to be back, and you know it's just going to make great for NFC North because unfortunately now Detroit's kind of seems to be taking a little bit of a couple steps back, and Minnesota's always going to be dog shit. It makes me happy. NFC North is going to be tough. It's back to what it used to be, which is Green Bay, Chicago. If Detroit can figure it out, you got three really tough teams in the North. And it's just going to make it fun for the years to come.
No, absolutely, man. Long-winded, but it was well needed. Man, we are 20. I was doing the record before we went ahead and started this thing. Right now, we are 20, 13, and 1, and we are 0-2 in the playoffs. Hopefully, we get that, switched around for the next 2 years. Yeah. But people, we really appreciate you tuning in to what we got going on here. I see everything coming in. We see the views, we see the clicks, we see everyone obviously participating. A year that we obviously are sick that it happened and it ended quick, but we ride and die on that hill for our Green Bay Packers. Jimmer, it's always a pleasure. So we might have to go ahead and take a little break. Guys are heading to Cancun or going somewhere. We're going to have to take a little break off.
I'm going to Cancun. I'm free. Any Green Bay Packers out there going to Cancun, I'm free. I can make the time.
Oh, God.
I'll come with. I'll sit there and drink some cervezas by the pool. It'll be great.
Oh, God, absolutely. Well, I don't know if we're going to be doing that, but we're going to take, obviously, a little break here. Jimmer, it's always a pleasure. Until, obviously, with our Packers, we will see you guys next year. We will be talking about, obviously, our Bucks and our Brewers. But this was tough, but there's next year. keep tuned to everything. The season of the Packers start now. Recruiting, obviously, for guys that are going to come in. You're going to go ahead and see, obviously, coaching situations. You're going to see all that going around. We will still stay in tune with that via Twitter and all that good stuff. But we appreciate you, everyone. Peace out, Jimmer. You already know what it is. We'll see you guys.
Y'all be good.